Councilmember Hill.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. We'll do the roll call, starting with Councilmember Hill, because Councilmember Hernandez will join.
Present.
Late. And Councilmember Jordan is joining online. Please say you're here.
Here.
Thank you. And Councilmember Simmons from District 2.
Present.
From District 3, Councilmember Oaks.
Here.
Councilmember Ranker.
Present.
District 4, Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
Here.
And Councilmember Mitchell.
Present.
We'll do the announcement in the same order, starting with Councilmember Hill.
Yes, thank you. Welcome back, everybody, and hope everybody had a nice holiday season, New Year's celebration. Happy New Year. This Thursday at 7:30, the North College Park Civic Association will have their monthly meeting at Davis Hall. And the Prince George's County Police Citizens Police Academy is starting up again for this season. It'll be class 53. I was class 49. And it will start on January 26th. So if you'd like to apply, you can reach out to me via email, and I can give you the application. It can also be found on the Prince George's County Citizens Police Academy website as well. That's it for today.
Thank you. Councilmember Jordan. Looks like are you muted? No, she's not. Yeah, we can come back to you once you figure out. Thank you. Councilmember Simmons.
Thank you. Echoing Councilmember Hugh, I wanted to wish everyone a Happy New Year. Two quick reminders. Curbside leaf collection, the last 2 weeks for that are this week and next week. The calendar can be found on the city's website. And then also applications for MNC PPC's Spring Neighborhood Planning Academy open this month. So if there are residents who are interested, I've heard great things about it, would encourage you to apply.
Thank you. And Councilmember Oaks.
Thanks, and Happy New Year. I'll just say for anybody who has not yet, who lives in a zone that is up for permit parking and hasn't done their permit parking application for 2026, please remember to do that so you don't get a ticket. Thanks.
Thank you, and thank you for posting that to the listserv. I saw that. Councilmember Ranker.
Pass.
Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
Yes, I just also wanted to say Happy New Year to all the residents of College Park, and look forward to a wonderful year with and this new council and with our residents. I wanted to really encourage our residents to please do the survey. The City Council needs to hear from you, and if you need any information about it, it's on the website, and it's also in your weekly bulletin. So thank you, and Happy New Year again.
Thank you. And Councilmember Mitchell.
Thank you, and Happy New Year again, like as everyone else has stated. I have, I think, 3 things to bring up. For residents who are looking to participate in a program called Energy Resiliency Community, there is a grant that's being provided by Prince George's County for up to $5,000 to help you to make improvements to your home. I will pass this information on to our clerk to put out in the weekly email. Number 2, WSSC is still working with individuals who need to get their bills on track, and if you need assistance with your water bill, there is a number that I will also provide to the clerk, as well as information to tell you how much you can receive in regards to deferment of your bill. Third is in regards to Prince George's County Public Schools. For all parents who participate, who have their children in Prince George's County Schools, there is a new app to track your school bus called Chickmunk. So I urge you please to enroll in that. That is the information you will need to know what time your bus will be coming to the street that you reside or whatever the stop that you have to go to either pick up or drop off your scholars. Last but not least, I want to say congratulations to the City College Park City University Partnership. There was a grant that was submitted by the partnership to the National League of Cities, and the National League of Cities on December the 18th informed the partnership that the City of College Park has been selected to take part in the prenatal to 3 impact lab cohort. This is a year-long cohort where they will look to learn about actual best practices and success dealing with early childhood and the prenatal to 3 population. So congratulations to the City University Partnership, and I do look forward to the outcomes from that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Mitchell. Let's go to Councilmember Jordan. Could you figure out your audio issues?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Please go ahead if you have any announcement.
I was saying that I had passed. Happy New Year, but otherwise I passed.
Thank you. Hope you feel better. All right, let's go to our student liaison, starting with Mr. DeSpirito.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and Happy New Year to everyone. It's good to be back and see everybody. No new updates for the most part. One thing, but I think 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to attend the Article Living neighborhood discussion with Councilmember Ranker, and we had some good discussions about that plan and developmental project that will be happening over the next couple years. And I was sure to continue our perspective of ensuring affordability in that project and making sure that's factored in when going forward. So that's all.
Thank you. Good job. And Ms. Bujma.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Nick and I have been enjoying a well-needed break, but we have also been preparing for the next semester, setting up tasks for our advisory council and just working towards what our goals are. So that's it.
Thank you. Keep us posted. All right, let's go to...
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, if
Please.
I can. Our deputy student liaison is being very modest. She's a star on campus with the work that she's doing. I just happened, someone called me and said, didn't you know your deputy student liaison doing? I don't know if you want to elaborate, but I was like very impressed and congratulations.
Thank you. You need to tell that story a little bit more. Maybe you need 1 more hour.
Yeah, I can elaborate just really quickly. Me and my team has recently been featured on CBS News for some work we've been doing with the food bank. We created an AI model to help increase accessibility and help reach more people to get food bank resources.
Fantastic. Good job. Good job. Maybe you can give us some demo one day. Thank you. Let's go to our city manager's report, Mr. Young.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I only have one quick announcement, and it's to the Council. I'm going to recommend to you all that item 26G05, which is the approval of the December 2nd, December 9th, 2025 minutes, be removed from the agenda and rescheduled for the January 27th, 2026
Tell me one more
meeting.
time, which one?
Item 26G05.
G05. Oh, from the consent. And which day?
And we will bring it back on January the 27th.
27th, okay. Regular meeting as a consent. Okay, thank you. We'll get to that when there'll be an opportunity for amendments to an approval of the agenda. Any question for Mr. Young? You're lucky. Seeing none, let's do acknowledgement. Do I see any past elected officials? I know there are so many important people. I do not see any. I don't want to be in trouble. I don't think anyone has joined online. Seeing none, let's do proclamations and awards. So we have 2 proclamations which are published. And the first one is about the City of College Park proclamation in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And it reads as follows: whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. supported nonviolent action to promote equal rights and economic justice worldwide, and Dr. King's notable speeches, sermons, and writings are among the most revered orations and writings in recent American history. And whereas Dr. King and many other civil rights leaders chose to organize their arguments around the contrasting ideas that the United States was a leader in promoting democracy and rights while denying those rights to many living in America. And whereas in his I Have a Dream speech on August 28, 1963, Dr. King called for Americans to confront economic, political, and social injustice, while also transforming racial division into a beautiful symphony of it's echoing. Can someone please mute? Injustice while also transforming racial division into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. And whereas members of the College Park community strive to achieve the vision of Dr. King, who said that we must learn to live together as brothers, or we will all perish together as fools. And whereas this month, the city will honor and commemorate Dr. King's legacy and his fight for social justice in many ways, including providing Paint Branch Elementary School, Hollywood Elementary School, and City Hall with 8 in-person assemblies presenting the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and a program on the history of African American women in the U.S., hosting a food drive to benefit those in need in College Park, and giving books that celebrate Dr. King's work to College Park children. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that on Tuesday, January 6, 2026, the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park join in recognizing the social and spiritual accomplishments of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the 31st Annual College Park Tribute that will carry forward his spirit and optimism and strengthen our commitment to justice. So proclaimed this 6th day of January 2026 for the Kabir Mayor, City of College Park. The next proclamation I have is about Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And it reads as follows: whereas human trafficking, defined in the use of force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of labor or commercial sexual exploitation, now ranks as the world's second largest and rapidly growing underground economy. And whereas trafficking presents a pervasive threat and public health risk to individuals of all backgrounds, occurring in plain sight in sectors such as hospitality, agriculture, and domestic work, and traffickers ranging from strangers to acquaintances. And whereas the city recognizes the importance of community engagement, education, and the participation of every citizen in eradicating beliefs and practices that foster exploitation. And whereas a successful response to human trafficking demands a coordinated, countrywide, community-wide effort, valuing the perspectives and expertise of survivors and fostering public-private partnerships for a comprehensive approach. And whereas in our pursuit to eradicate human trafficking, the City of College Park aspires to be a place of opportunity, equity, and justice where all individuals are treated with dignity, receive fair compensation, and are free from exploitation and human rights abuses. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by that the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park hereby proclaims January 2026 as National Human Trafficking Prevention Month, and urge College Park residents, community organizations, businesses, and government agencies to increase their participation and support in our collective efforts to eradicate human trafficking making the city of College Park a safe community for all, proclaimed the 6th day of January 2026. Fazil Kabir, Mayor, City of College Park. With that, let's go to the amendments to an approval of the agenda. Is there any amendment? I'll start with Councilmember Mackey. Sorry, Mayor Pro Tem Mackey, I would say.
Yes. I move to remove 26-G-02 from consent agenda and add it to next week's work session.
So before the council takes a vote, I have a concern, and concern is that this item is the list of proclamations that we make throughout the year, and the list includes a proclamation, new proclamation to recognize January as the Muslim American Heritage Month. And if we remove it from today to the next week, and I see the email that it is supposed to be approved in January 27th meeting, that might not allow us to make the proclamation this year. And most important, that's my concern. Hopefully this doesn't happen. And most importantly, I see quite a few community members in the room, and they came here to witness this proclamation is made, and I do not want them to be disappointed. And I'd like to celebrate the Muslim community in College Park with them. That is up to the body, and this is my concern. Councilmember Hernandez, raise your hand. Please go ahead. Is your
My
mic?
concern?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you for joining.
No problem.
Do you want to?
I'd like to offer an alternative. Is it possible for us to just vote on adding that particular proclamation, like across the body today, given the fact that the meetings aren't going to align in an effort to pass it today, given the fact that there's such a large community that's here in support of witnessing this particular item. I just don't want to miss that opportunity. So my proposal, I know there's a motion on the table, but if we could, I guess, I don't know what it needs to be, but can I motion to add that particular item back to tonight's vote?
If I heard it correctly, maybe part of it, that you would like to see us approving the Muslim Heritage Month tonight, Proclamation 1, and then discuss the other items next week.
Yeah, because I saw the concerns of the various council members, but let's just try to solve this particular problem today, given the fact that there's so many folks in the audience in supporting this particular item of proclamation.
Thank you. I think we got it. What do you want? Any other comments before we take the vote?
I have a question.
Please.
We made our proclamations for tonight already. So I didn't hear what my colleague was saying. So could you please clarify that? Because I don't know what we're voting on. Are we voting on this or what? What did Jacob say? I couldn't hear Jacob. I'm sorry. I didn't.
We are voting on the proposal he made, the motion he made to take out the proclamation list from tonight's agenda and move it to next week as a work session item. We are voting on that. So before the voting, I am entertaining comments. If there's, Mr. Hill?
I just want to comment that, I understand this is a new batch of council members, and there's longing to have a little more discussion on this, and I can respect that. But I wanted to add to the comment that, things in government move at a relatively slow pace. And this was a proposal to have this, and which I do approve, motion to add this appreciation of the Muslim American community to these list of proclamations for this year. That request came to us on December 30th. So this is a very short time. We didn't have a meeting to discuss it. I'm disappointed that it's coming to a place we need to discuss it. But in respect to these, our new council members, this has come up. This is the procedure we'll have to deal with. I don't think it reflects on, not being supportive of appreciating this community. And I believe if it's not on this meeting, if it gets pulled from consent, it will not be an action item nor a work session discussion. So at number 9 on our agenda, when it comes to public comments, will they be able to comment about their support for this? Because this is why they're here, and I want to make sure their voices are heard on this issue. So I just want to make sure that that is the case. Can we accept comments on this?
Certainly, yeah, that would be on agenda number 9. We'll allow the community members who are here to speak. We'll allow them to speak. But
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, could we have clarification from our city attorney, please?
When you say clarification, so right now, as I understand it, there was a motion made, there was a second to remove the item to a work session to be dealt with on January 13th. I believe that Councilmember Hernandez also put a motion on the table. There was not a second. If I understood correctly what he said about pulling it out and dealing with that particular proclamation tonight, if I heard correctly.
probably I missed that.
It was hard to understand what he was saying.
Councilor Hernandez, your audio was breaking up. If you could.
Yeah, forgive me. Can you hear me now?
We can hear a lot better, actually. If you could bring your phone or something close to your mouth.
Sorry, folks. I'm having the hardest time with the sound here. All right, try it again. One more time. Check, check. Can you hear me?
Ms. Anderson, please ask the question.
I just need to, if you could repeat, Councilmember Hernandez, what you said about that particular proclamation.
I'd like to make a motion to, for the body to consider adding the proclamation for celebrating Muslim American History Month here today on January. So I know there's a motion on the table. What I'm doing is I'm adding it to the motion and hoping that one of my colleagues seconds.
No, we'd have to consider his motion because we didn't have a second round. Let's consider that first. Is it a substitute?
So as a point of...
I think then, because we already had a motion on the table, so then we deal with Councilmember Hernandez's motion. Is there a second?
So point of information, or I guess point of order, so there was a motion and there's a second. So that's the motion that's being considered. I don't think that you can make a motion until this is considered. You could amend the motion, but you can't make a new separate motion. So after this is considered, we'd then be able to consider a different motion, which would also be reflected as an amendment to the agenda, which is the agenda item that we're currently in. Is that correct?
Thank you, Councilmember O. I think that is correct, but I think also what we're trying, again, we're trying to talk about a process in regards to our proclamation.
If that's the case, then can we deal with the motion that's on the table?
And Councilmember Hernandez can come back with his motion?
Correct.
Okay. So thank you. If there is no other comments, let's take the vote. If it is okay, I'll do a roll call, starting with Councilmember Hernandez. The motion is
No.
to remove the item and add it to the next week's work session.
No, I think Mr. Mayor, I think that the motion is to remove this particular item of all proclamations, correct?
Yes, all proclamations, correct. The
Okay.
list.
Got it. All right. Your roll call. Aye.
Okay. And Mr. Hugh?
No.
Councilmember Jordan?
Aye.
And Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
And Mr. Ost?
Yes. Aye.
Aye. And Mr. Ranker?
Abstain.
And Mayor Pro Tem Mackey?
Yes.
And Councilmember Mitchell?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With a vote of 6 to 1 to 1, the motion passes. Councilmember Hernandez, do you still want to
Yes.
move a
I'd
motion?
like to make a motion for us to consider passing a proclamation celebrating Muslim American History Month today in January.
Is there any second?
I'll second.
Moved by Councilmember Hernandez, seconded by Councilmember Hose. If there is no further discussion, let's take the vote.
Yeah, there's discussion.
There is a discussion, okay.
Just for clarification, is this a proclamation that is included in our agenda packet currently?
No, this is a proclamation, this is a new proclamation. And the draft was sent to the MCL early in the morning.
Oh, I did not fully review that in anticipation of this meeting because it was not in the agenda packet.
Yeah, it is listed. The name of the proclamation is listed in the list of proclamations. So that is the connection with the agenda.
Thank you. Understood.
Yeah. Mr. Hill?
Respectfully, my question was never answered. Approaching the vote for the previous motion about the ability for audience to make comment on a non-consent, non-agenda, on a no longer on consent, non-agenda item. The audience, I think we were waiting for an answer from Ms. Anderson.
Yes, you can. If the item is not on the consent and removed and it's not an agenda item, then it will be proper for handling under item 9.
Okay, and if the second motion passes that we move it to an action item tonight, they will not be able to comment on it on the public comment on agenda item number 9 at this point.
That is correct.
However, at the end, at agenda item number 16, comments from the audience, would they be able to make comments then?
Yes. You can comment under 16, anything under the sun.
Okay, thank you. So to the community present online and here tonight, please bear with us. If this motion passes to make this an action item tonight, you will be able to comment at agenda item 16. So your voices are still important to us, but you'll need to be patient with us to go through this process.
If this motion passes, then this becomes an action item.
Right.
So it will be added as an action item agenda. At that time, the community can get the chance to speak. Yeah. All right. Any other questions or comments? Ms. Mitchell.
Respectfully, Mr. Mayor, and to my colleagues, to Councilmember Simmons' question, we just received a version of a proclamation today, and I think no one on this body had even thought that this was going to be under consideration for discussion to vote on tonight. I think when we're talking about due process and procedure, I guess I'm just kind of leery about moving forward, not the fact of what we're going to consider, but the fact of what the process, we're seeing like we're deviating from a process, and I don't really feel comfortable with that. if the intention was to have this proclamation considered tonight and to vote on tonight, I was not made aware of until sitting here right now. And I think that's something that I have a little bit of a pause in regards to.
Yeah, the proclamation was listed in the council packet as part of the proclamation list. And if you recall, Ms. Mitchell, and you and I have been working for the community on this desk for so long, and we have together approved 35 or 36 proclamations over the year. About a year ago, 12 months ago, on this night, the very first meeting, we approved 4 or 5 proclamations without any discussions. Absolutely no discussion, no text or nothing.
Mr. Mayor, yes, you have. You sent me a text message, and yes, maybe so then. But it is a new day. It's 2026. We do have a new body. We do have a protocol that we do need to follow. And I think most of my colleagues would like to have the opportunity to follow that, even with the amendment of giving opportunity to bring it back next week for discussion and approval. So I think that's where it's...
Motion on the table. Can we just vote on that, please?
But we are voting on your motion to add the Muslim American Heritage Month proclamation to the agenda item.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like my Wi-Fi is going to go out really quickly here. And I just want to make sure that we see this through. I think it's important. We can leave it to the body to vote whether or not we want to make this proclamation, or just add it to the agenda, and then we'll have the discussion during the action item discussion. That's my recommendation.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions before take the vote? Mr. Runker?
I mean, I want to, I would propose that we not vote on this tonight. I feel like we've spent a lot of time on something like this already. As a new thing, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, we did the proclamations already tonight. I thought this was going to be, if we approved it, a proclamation on the 29th that we would do as is. I am very in favor of a proclamation recognizing Muslim American heritage. And I think let's not put it on the agenda for tonight. And that will allow our audience members who are here to share their voices immediately following this, and then and we can have a great one ready to go and proclaim on the 29th.
Okay. Thank you. If there is no other comments, Mr. Rose.
Is that the motion?
Sorry? We still have the motion on the table, so we need to take the vote. The motion is to add, it has been seconded. Do you not comment?
I think maybe my question, maybe given what Councilman Member Raker has said, is I agree we've spent a lot of time kind of discussing this. I think another alternative is potentially to see if we open a special session during our meeting next week where we could adopt a proclamation.
That is a
would
possibility.
help us to actually have this happen during the month as opposed to at the end of the month, but would allow people more time to be able to review the text because it was not in our red folders.
Certainly.
So I think considering that, if that's our approach, I don't know if our colleague, Mr. Hernandez, wants to amend his motion or continue in voting to adopt tonight versus seeking to put this as a special session item for a meeting next week.
Councilor Hernandez, did you hear what Councilmember was saying?
I did. I just point of clarification. What is a special session?
A special session.
Come together?
Yeah, there's something new because it brings back the memories many years ago. So next week, after many years, we'll be having work session only meeting. There will not be any action items. So in that kind of meetings, in a work session only meetings, if someone wants to approve something, then the council as a body needs to go into a special session and then take action and come out from that special session, both voting in the beginning and voting in the end of the special session. So that is something new. Probably my new colleagues will be learning. Yeah. So there is what Councilman Rose is saying. Thank you for suggesting it. There is still opportunity for the council to approve it and make the proclamation next week. Am I hearing correctly? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to also add, it's permitted under the rules, even though it's a new practice. We haven't done it, but it is permitted under the rules.
Yeah, we used to do it, I believe, 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Then we changed a regular meeting on the meetings. All right, Ms. Mackey, Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
Yes. My reason for putting it on to next week is manyfold. But one of the things that you have to recognize, too, is that the public hasn't seen the proclamation, so it didn't go out in the packet. And so it really needs to be, I feel that we need to be transparent before all of our citizens in College Park and put the proclamation out there next week, so that in the work session packet, so that it's seen. And also the fact that we do have 3 new council members that might also have some proclamations that they would like to add to the list. And so I think that doing it at a work session will give us the opportunity to properly do our proclamation list and review it and have it be moved forward in a way that everyone has worked on it together on the council. And we mean no disrespect to any of our citizens in College Park. Thank you.
All right, if there's no comment, Mr. Hill.
Again, procedural question. If we move it to next week for a work session discussion, would the public be able to comment on it at that point?
During work session, we do not allow public to comment.
Not during the work session, but once you decide to go into a special session, then they could.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, if it is removed completely, as looks like that's the way it's going, public will be able to comment tonight after this item. Am I correct, Ms. Anderson?
Correct.
It has already been removed.
It's already been removed.
It has already been removed.
And
Councilmember Hernandez's motion currently is to add it back to the agenda later, which would mean no comments now. I move the question.
Okay. Let's do the roll call then. Councilman Hernandez, let's take the vote.
Clarify the question.
Hold on.
Can I clarify? The question is on adoption tonight.
Of the Muslim American Heritage Month tonight, yeah. And I see Ms. Jordan, you have a question? You raised your hand.
Yes, just so that I'm clear, we are a vote of yes is to move the item to an action item tonight.
To add this item as an action item tonight's agenda, correct?
That's a vote of yes. All right, thank you very much.
Okay. All right, let's take the vote. Mr. Hernandez?
Aye.
Mr. Hill?
Nay.
Ms. Jordan?
Nay.
Ms. Simmons?
No.
Mr. Oates?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranker?
Abstain.
And Mayor Pro Tem Mitchell?
No. The other M. That's okay. No.
No. And
Councilmember Mitchell, no.
Councilmember Mitchell, no. Okay, so I see a vote of 2 to 7, 5. Yeah, 3, 4, 5. 2 to 5 to 1, the motion
Mr.
fails.
Mayor, I move to remove item 26G-05 from the consent agenda.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This should be easy.
Aye.
Any other? I think Mr.
I move to move 26-D-03 to action items. off the consent agenda.
26G03, right? The PUA. Okay. Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? This has been removed. Now, if there is no anyone,
Second.
you're very fast. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? The consent agenda has been approved. Sorry, our main agenda has been approved. We haven't moved the consent agenda yet. Now is the time for public comment, and this is the time if you can speak on any items which are on the consent agenda or on non-agenda items. So remember, I have been told many of you came here to speak on the Muslim American Heritage Month, which was proposed but not on the agenda yet right now. So this is an opportunity for you to come and speak on that item or any item. If you could please stand or rather line up in front of the podium. Yeah. Thank you. Mr. Dorsch, please
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
If you're a resident of College Park, for the record.
I'm Dave Dorsch. I'm a half-century resident here in College Park, over half-century, actually. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you. I just want to say one or two things. I had buy a permit today from the city, and one of the things I noticed is that not only did you charge me $238 for the permit, okay, but then you want to charge me another $1.25 because I put it on my credit card. Now, come on, guys. We really have to charge people the $1.25 to put it on the credit card. You know, when the city spends $300,000 to buy 2 lots that nobody knows what the heck they're going to do with, those kind of things tell me that the city's got more money than they know what to do with. So we shouldn't be charging people for these things like $1.25 every time you charge something on your credit card here for the city. That's item 1. Item 2 is we still have this house down at 4704 Calvert Road that needs to be sold. I don't know why the city keeps hanging on to this thing. The windows are painted on the inside as they have been for the last 6 to 8 months. All this thing is doing is sitting here rotting. Why does the city even want this place? I know they bought it because somebody came and offered them this great deal for $1.7 million to buy the lot, which is a fairly good-sized lot, and the house came with it. But the city doesn't need this house. They don't need the maintenance of the house. They don't need to be in the house renting business. They need to sell this house, and it should be sold immediately. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. Please come forward. Please state your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Zainab Chaudhry. I'm with the Council on American Islamic Relations. CARE is the nation's largest Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization. For the last decade or so, I have worked in the advocacy space on behalf of our communities, oftentimes who have been targeted by and victimized by Islamophobia, anti-Muslim bigotry, discrimination, harassment, intimidation, erasure, silence, being silenced in public spaces and in private spaces as well. And the bullying of Muslim children specifically has been a big issue that our organization has been tracking. And it's been very enlightening to listen to this conversation tonight on the Muslim American Heritage Month proclamation. I want to acknowledge, Mayor Kabir, your efforts in trying to make sure that our communities are equally valued and respected and heard within our chambers of power. As public servants, obviously, you represent a very diverse demographic. And I know that oftentimes there are different resolutions and proclamations that are considered for various reasons. And one of the things I just want to encourage you to keep in mind as you consider whether or not there should even be a debate on whether it's worth it to acknowledge the value that communities that have been impacted by hatred and bigotry bring to the table. There are children who look up to you, and they are paying attention to how our elected officials govern and what they prioritize. And, we are here not as bystanders, we are here as equal to all of our peers from diverse walks of life. I won't lie, it's very disheartening to hear that there are any reservations to something as simple as a Muslim American Heritage Month. Muslims are not new to our country. Muslims have been part of our country's fabric of our society since before its founding. Many Muslims were brought over during the transatlantic slave trade, and they helped to lay the foundation for our country. We have community members who are healthcare providers, who are educators, who are contributors, who provide various different services to our communities in different capacities. And so, you know, when you think about whether or not it's important to acknowledge the fact that our communities are being targeted by hatred, bigotry, and bias, I really would encourage you to consider whether you yourself value and view your Muslim constituency as equals. I know obviously there is a procedural element to this, and I want to acknowledge and respect that. I will say that last year there was also a similar campaign and effort by community members, especially children, who within this particular city wanted to bring this measure forward. And tonight you're going to hear from some of the community members who want to encourage you to vote in favor of this. But again, you know, I have a letter that I've emailed that I'm sure many of you have read. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer, but I really would encourage you to please, you know, consider this, passing it this year, and, you know, not wait until next year. We never should have to wait to acknowledge the humanity and dignity of any community, whether they be Muslims, Jews, Christians, Hindus, whatever group they belong to. Community members deserve to feel seen and heard. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Kindly speaking. Next, state your name, you're a resident of College Park.
Jamil Alam Johnson. Good evening, Mayor Kabir, members of the council, and members of the College Park community. Assalamu alaikum and peace to one and all. Thank you for providing the opportunity to speak with you tonight in support of the resolution to recognize January as Muslim American Heritage Month, as was done by the Maryland General Assembly in the last session and signed by the governor. My name is Jamil Alam Johnson, and I am president of the Prince George's County Muslim Council, an organization that encourages the Muslim community to participate in the civic affairs of our county. We do this for the dual purpose of facilitating our way of life, as well as to work with our neighbors to improve the quality of life for everyone. My 3 children spent 11 years attending grade school here in College Park. All of them had their high school graduations across the street at the University of Maryland. I have and continue to spend a significant amount of time pretending I can play golf at the Paint golf course, and when I'm feeling extremely bold, at the University of Maryland golf course. I'm a frequent visitor to enterprises like Pizza Roma, Mom's, Rita's, and Pop's Scoops and Dough, much to the chagrin of my waistline. College Park is very much a part of my local community. Now, I stood before this council 9 years ago when our once and future president sought to ban all Muslims from entering the country. Deja vu all over again. I was thankful that the leaders of College Park stood with the Muslim community at that time. We are again faced with a national leadership that is seeking to limit the visibility of people that don't fit into his desired demographic. He wishes to sideline people who don't fit into his narrow definition of MAGA, based upon qualifications like race and religion. It was comforting to see the leadership of College Park stand up for inclusiveness then, and it will be equally appreciated to see it done again with this resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next, please state your name for the record, resident.
Good evening. My name is Nomi Hamid. Good evening, Mayor Kabir and council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. First off, I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year. For those who don't know, I am currently the founder and CEO of Virtual X Kitchen, Crazy Kebab. It's a local business. I used to be across the street. Now I'm down the block. I am also an American Muslim and a College Park resident, as well as Sister Jamila just reminded me, the president of Westchester Park HOA Association. I am here in strong support of recognizing January as a Muslim American Heritage Month in the city of College Park. I've been here since 2010 with my business, and we are currently expanding as well in the Berwyn Heights area. As an American Muslim, this recognition is meaningful because it affirms that we belong fully and proudly in this community and in this country. For those who do not know, for the past 3 years and moving forward, we have Virtual X Kitchen has been hosting with University of Maryland in the city of College Park every year an event at a church down the block celebrating Ramadan, right? And we've been doing that for the community, and we're going to continue doing that. This proclamation is not about politics. It is about acknowledgement, respect, and inclusion. College Park has long been a city that values diversity and unity, and this recognition reflects those shared values. When communities feel seen and respected, they are more engaged, more invested, and stronger together. I respectfully urge the Council to support this proclamation. For the most part, I heard everyone say, yes, we support this, but the voting got moved to next week. And continue setting an example of inclusive leadership. Thank you for your time and thank you for your service, and I'm always here as a community member to serve in any which way, shape, or form needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I go to the next speaker, those of you who have joined online, if you want to speak, please raise your virtual hand, and I will allow you to speak. Please come forward. Please state your name for the record and if you're a resident.
My name is Jamila Malik, and I am a College Park resident in the Towers of Westchester Park. Good evening to all, and Happy New Year. I just want to share a quick little story about over the weekend as far as it's concerned with neighborly needs or neighborly gatherings. On Saturday, our condo community gathered for the 2026 International Potluck Dinner. Guests were encouraged to bring a dish from one's own country of origin, and if they wish, they could wear their ethnic attire and bring their own cultural music. I chose to bring the Kaiser Halal hot meat patties from Halal store right here in Greenbelt College Park on Greenbelt Road. Folks were delighted to see my ethnic dress that I donned from my recent pilgrimage to Mecca over the Thanksgiving weekend. I am a recent retiree from a Prince George's County middle school, where I taught 6th grade world culture and geography honors. There are many Muslim students from various nationalities across our county, here in College Park, that would love to get this acknowledgement. I'm originally from New York, and the governor of New York has made an American Muslim Heritage Month already. So I'm so proud, and if we don't have it this year, we're still grateful for the consideration for the Muslim American Heritage Month. Thank you for your consideration and your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Next, please. Just state your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Zaid Mahfouz. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm the president of the Muslim Students Association at the University of Maryland, just across the road. I'm here respectfully to urge your support for recognizing Muslim American Heritage Month in the city of College Park for the month of January. For many students, College Park is our first home away from home. I myself have been a community member for all my life. We don't just attend classes here at the University of Maryland College Park, but we live here, we work here, we shop here, and we also volunteer here. Our experiences on campus are shaped by the community around us. And when the city affirms that Muslim residents and students are valued, it strengthens a real sense of belonging. At the same time, Muslim Americans have long been a part of the broader College Park community, whether it be families, educators, healthcare professionals, small business owners, and public servants who contribute every day to the life of the city. This proclamation is simple but a meaningful way to acknowledge those contributions and reflect College Park's commitment to inclusion and mutual respect. This is not a political statement, it's a community statement. It helps ensure that students and residents alike feel seen, respected, and encouraged to participate fully in civic life. On behalf of the UMD MSA and the many Muslim students and families who call College Park home, I respectfully ask you to support this proclamation and thank you for your time and service.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Ms. Blumenthal, please state your name for the record.
Blumenthal.
Please, if you could come.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I am Judy Blumenthal, Jewish, and was pleased when you, the Council, proclaimed last month Jewish American Heritage Month. By this action of inclusion, I felt hopeful that the Council will lead the way in our city towards tolerance and unity, love over hate, and push to the past behaviors that reflect divisiveness and lack of cohesiveness. Your proclamation was in line with Maya Angelou's saying that stands on the grounds at Davis Hall and reads, "Prejudice is a burden that confuses the past, threatens the future, and renders the present inaccessible." Proclamations of heritages in our city acknowledge our beauty and diversity, emphasize love over hate, and acceptance over bias. I now ask that you continue to demonstrate tolerance and unity by acknowledging January as Muslim American Heritage Month. Since we are already 6 days into the month, it would have been best if you did it now. How can you not? There's no entitlement to place a value on any heritage. To place a value on any heritage violates humanity. To do so returns the city council and therefore the city to a divided entity that breeds only bad things and, yes, is disrespectful. Your acknowledgement and proclamation this evening would have been only to bring goodwill if you acknowledged it immediately as the Muslim American Heritage Month. Your lack of acknowledgement and proclamation this evening will be an ill will and a divisive move. What was very troubling to me and quite disturbing is throughout your discussion to hear that it was new to the agenda, only December 30th, I don't know how. And why I don't know how, because in your agenda package, your proclamations that were approved on August 10th, 2021, okay, August 10th, 2021, in your package has 3 for tonight. Martin Luther King, which we did, that was great. Human trafficking, which we did, that was great. The third one from 2021 was the American Heritage Month, which you did not do. That's very troubling, very troubling. You, the council, are held to a higher standard of objective actions that reflect the beautiful and diverse city that voted you in office. Do the only thing that is appropriate and acknowledge and proclaim, hopefully it would have been this evening, that January is Muslim American Heritage Month. You might even want to consider doing outreach in your respective district to see what other heritages are represented there that can be acknowledged. This will certainly demonstrate love over hate, acceptance over bias. Have a heritage booth at the next city's public event. Tell your constituents that you are here to celebrate them. Ask them to tell you about their heritage. Show love. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we normally don't go back and forth, but I need to make a correction. You're right. What you stated has been listed on page 14 of our packet. I believe that needs to be corrected. It says proclamation approved on August 10, 2021. I don't think that is. I think the statement, the intent was to proclamations.
This is the correct one.
Yeah, but the August 2021 is not this list. It's a different list. Thank you so much. But I appreciate your comments, Ms. Blumenthal. Appreciate that. Please come forward and state your name and for the record, if you're resident.
Hi, my name is Mubarak Abdullah, and I am a veteran of the U.S. Army. Joined a couple months after 9/11, did a couple tours, and now I'm bringing my business into College Park for the first time with, NOMI, and I think it's. I understand. I agree with the sister back here, which said, if it doesn't pass this year, at least consider it. So I appreciate it, and I look forward to serving College Park.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Good. Appreciate that. Please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Christina Wellington, and I'm a new resident of College Park. As an educator and a committed ally to the Muslim community, I strongly believe that this proclamation would be deeply meaningful to Muslim residents in our city. Heritage Months provide an important opportunity not only to honor and uplift communities, but also to educate the broader public about cultures and traditions different from their own. These moments foster empathy, mutual respect, and greater understanding, values that strengthen the entire community. So I respectfully urge that you all consider approving this proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and welcome to College Park. Appreciate it. Again, if you have joined, I see quite a few of our guests and residents joined online. And if you wish to speak, please raise your virtual hand, and I will allow you to speak. I see Ziad Khan. I think you're good to go. Please go ahead.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Perfect. Good evening, council members, and assalamu alaikum. My name is Zaid Khan, and I am a junior at the University of Maryland College Park.
If you could please speak up a little bit, come to the mic.
Sure.
Closer.
Sure. I am currently a junior at the University of Maryland College Park, and I've called College Park my home during the semester for the last 3 years now, and I've been able to meet so many great people, especially so many different and very diverse Muslim students, not only students but also faculty and staff. And I believe that the proclamation that was discussed today, unfortunately not passed today, is a really important recognition of the Muslim community. The Muslim community has been involved in throughout College Park's history, and especially recently. Obviously, the Muslim Student Association is a very large body and very large religious body consisting of a lot of students. And I believe that when the city makes a proclamation that recognizes them and recognizes their importance as constituents, it is a necessary thing to be done. I am also a member of SGA, so I understand the Student Government Association at University of Maryland College Park. So I understand there's a lot of different things that have to be done, a lot of rules that have to be followed. But I think when we are considering something that is right and that is just, I believe it's important that even though there may be some specific rules, that this should be considered of very highly importance. And like it was brought up today that it could have been introduced today as an action item. I think it would have been very important because this is an item that has been mentioned, introduced in 2021, and it's not a new thing. It is a recognition of a very large group of College Park, and it is just a bare minimum of recognizing their heritage and celebrating the heritage. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you for speaking. I do not see any other virtual hands. This is our last call if you want to speak on this item. Seeing none. Is there anyone else speaking on any other non-agenda item or consent item? Seeing none, let's close the public comment period. And thank you all for coming. And I know you all expected, many of you, most of you who spoke tonight, to see this proclamation be adopted, and some of you, for good reason, may be disappointed, but I'll appreciate your patience. We work with the body and the community, so we are one body. And hopefully, as you heard from my colleagues, everyone is interested to make this proclamation, hopefully as early as next week. So I'll appreciate your patience, and let's work with us. Thank you so much for coming again. And thank you all who joined online there. It's hard to see so many community members joining online, so it's heartwarming. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Have a good night. All right, let's go back to the business. Now, the next item is to approval of the consent agenda. We now have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe 5, right? We had 7, now we have 5 to have been taken out. Actually, it should be 4 because proclamation is taken out as well. So let me read them out, and then I will entertain a motion to approve them. The first one is 26G01, which is the approval of the amended Mayor and Council 2026 meeting schedule. The next one is 26G04, which is about the approval of the Ames Parking Management Solutions annual full service software support, hosting, and maintenance contract in the amount of $67,999.50 to be effective February 1st, 2026 through January 31st, 2027, subject to the approval of the city attorney. And this third one is 26G06, approval of the FY26 Sustainable Maryland Action Grants Program application requesting $18,825 to fund the College Park Home Energy Audit Reimbursement Program and to authorize staff time to implement the grant if awarded. And the fourth and the last one is 26G07, approval of the FY26 Local Government Energy Modernization Program, LGEM, grant applications submitted to the Maryland Energy Administration. With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? The consent agenda has been approved. We do not have presentation or public hearing tonight. We'll go straight to action items. We have 4 of them to just edit. The first one would be 26G08, review and approval of the 2026 legislative priorities. And this will be presented by our good friend, Len Lucci. Please come forward. Always nice to see you.
Thank you. Great to see you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and welcome to the 3 members I've not yet met, who I look forward to meeting. The 447th session of the Maryland General Assembly will be called into order next Wednesday, January 14th. And the one big change in the General Assembly that will be recognized that day will be the election of the Speaker of the House, who started on the College Park City Council and then spent the last 20 years, or 19 years, now the 20th, in the Maryland House of Delegates. That's Jocelyn Pena Melnick, a resident of the city still. And she was just elected a couple of weeks ago in a special session and immediately made major changes in the structure of the Maryland House of Delegates, added a new committee, and reappointed some chairs and replaced others, and put her mark on the House before ever even really presiding. So it's a very exciting time. It's the first time in 60 years that Prince George's County has had a Speaker of the House. And it might be, I don't know if there's ever been a College Park resident who's been Speaker of the House, so it's a very exciting time. She reappointed Ben Barnes to be the chair of the House Appropriations Committee, so he will have the budget in his lap that he so ably had to piece together last year. And Mary Lehman, our third delegate, has been appointed to a new committee called Labor, Elections, and Government, where she will be the chair of the local government subcommittee, meaning all legislation that just deals with local government, either all local governments or certain ones, will have to be approved by her subcommittee. So that's a big jurisdiction. And of course, Senator Jim Rosapep will continue to be the vice chair of the Senate Budget and Taxation Committee. So College Park is in a very good position. That's the good news. The bad news is that once again, the legislature has a very major budget gap to fill. The Constitution requires that the budget be passed as balanced, and so they'll have to find ways to make up, I think it's like a $1.6 billion budget gap. And the presiding officers and the governor have all taken new taxes off the table So it'll have to be some type of expenditure cuts to balance it. Now, you may remember that a year ago, the legislature was facing about a $1.6 billion deficit, and it raised revenues of close to $1 billion in, I think, a very responsible way. And everyone said, okay, we're good for a couple of years. We've raised the revenues to balance the budget. So what happened? What happened is that Maryland's federal employment went way down, and that there was a loss of income during the government shutdown. And so the economy is really taking a hit based on federal government actions. And that's why there is suddenly this shortfall when all projections showed last April that the budget would be balanced. So as a result, it's going to be another year where you're not going to really see any new expenditures, no new programs, and it's going to be still a fight to try and cut back the worst, to stop the worst of the cuts and try and be creative in how to do that. And of course, it's an election year, so all 188 members of the Maryland General Assembly will be up for election if they choose to run. And complicating that, not complicated, but on February 24th is the filing deadline. So right like halfway through the Maryland General Assembly, they'll find out at 9 o'clock on that night who is going to be running against them if they choose to run. And the point is it's going to be a very politically charged session. And usually when they're politically charged, there's not a lot of major new initiatives. Now, the governor does have a program he's going to unveil about a week into the General Assembly session. We'll see what that is. I know it has something to do with energy, something to do with housing, and I'll report that to you. I think last October, there were several items before the council in terms of a legislative agenda, and I don't think that action was taken on that. But I have the list, and I will look for those items. A lot of them had to do with legislation that was introduced last year that did not pass, and so I know who the sponsors are, who the opponents are, who the supporters are, and I can go after them and try and lend our support and see if we can make a difference in getting them to pass. But I will certainly be glad to be directed by you during the session. I will also share with you bills that I think would be of interest to the mayor and council if you wanted to take a position on that, and then we can kind of go through it that way. In about a month from now, all the bills will be in, and so we'll know all probably like 2,500 bills, and I'll go through those and make my recommendations to you and follow your advice on how to proceed. But,
thank you.
It's a privilege to once again represent this august body in the halls of Annapolis.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate staff, Mr. Young, for putting together a packet, and he emailed us this evening. If you didn't get a chance to see it, it's in your email. It has some policy priorities, and it was prepared by Mr. Gardiner. Mr. Gardiner, do you want to talk about some of the priorities he included? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Some of the priorities that we discussed in October.
Yeah, and I can see them. I can see them in the motion, not the motion, the agenda sheet.
Right.
Yeah, the cover page.
So just kind of very, very quickly, in October, Council discussed at a work session possible policy priorities that included more funding for state child care scholarships. The governor and the General Assembly passed a pretty impressive bill, I guess maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but it was very successful in providing funds for eligible parents, but last year or the year before, the program was capped, and so new enrollment was shut down. Council has discussed the issue with collusion by certain firms in setting rent prices in College Park. And there was a bill introduced last year at the state level to prohibit that. It's certainly going to be reintroduced this session, and I think council would be interested in sponsoring that. Probably a much more effective way than trying to take on that issue just as one municipality. Council's also been very involved in advocating for prohibition of vehicles stopping in bike lanes on state roads. Last year, that legislation was amended very, very badly so that it was going to allow up to 30 minutes of stoppage time in a bike lane. And so the proponents effectively had the bill killed. But I believe the initial legislation will be reintroduced, and hopefully we can see some action on that. You probably know that the county passed legislation to prohibit stopping in bike lanes on county roads. The city passed legislation to stop prohibited on city roads, but the major road in College Park for bike lanes, and that issue is on Baltimore Avenue, which is a state road. The Maryland Municipal League has supported often a general priority to broaden the municipal tax base. They proposed last year legislation that was essentially a tax on on-site restaurant purchases. Is that right? It didn't go anywhere. They are probably going to try to bring it back or something similar to that.
I think maybe not.
No? Okay. And then our lobbyist, Mr. Lucci, suggested, I'm not sure if he had this idea originally as his own or if he borrowed it from somebody, but a proposal that would increase municipal revenues by adding an additional bracket of a higher level of income tax for those earning over $250,000. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Senator Rosapep has proposed in the past to have both county and municipal taxes have brackets, so you got a higher rate the higher the income. And he got it passed for the counties, but even for the counties, they amended it so that you could change your brackets, but you can't raise the taxes. You can only lower the rates. You can't. There's still the cap, and so that would make it mean that if you were to be progressive, you would have to lose revenue, which was not the intention. The intention was it to be revenue neutral. So we could talk to them about coming back with that again, and certainly the new Speaker of the House will have a tremendous interest in College Park's initiatives, which I think will be a whole different dynamic to what's happened in the past.
She's one of our own.
Right.
She used to sit here. She's a city council member. We are so proud of having her as a speaker. Thank you. Mr. Guardian, do you want to continue?
Just a couple of things. We've tried unsuccessfully thus far to get action on land use authority for municipalities in Prince George's County. It didn't get out of committee. It's just been a huge lift. We could try again in some form. And then the final possible policy priority was to look at the authority to essentially tax single-family homes based on their use and kind of income, so that a single-family owner-occupied home may be assessed at a much lower number than a similar-sized home that had, 5 renters, and that would be one way to perhaps provide revenue that is maybe more in line with service demands on some of those high occupancy, single-family homes, and also perhaps make buying a single-family home by a owner-occupant maybe more competitive than competing with an investor interested in using it as an investment property. And then finally, for our capital priorities, it's been our priority for a very, very long time. Phase 1 of our Baltimore Avenue rebuild is completed. We've been begging, asking, lobbying for money for what was Phase 2 and 3. I think is now just considered Phase 2. It's all one, all the way to 495. I believe there is some money for engineering and design, a very small amount, but we have not been successful in getting any money for construction.
And then let me add, even though it's a tight budget year, there's always a capital budget. And so if you have any capital budget requests for the state besides the transportation one, last year both of them were approved at the rate that we requested them. So it's not too late. It will be too late soon, but it's not too late if you have just some idea of something that could use some one-time capital improvements in the city. We could submit them to Chairman Barnes, and he's always been very good at responding to city requests.
He's also one of our own.
Right.
He lives in College Park. I have a follow-up, and thank you, Mr. Gardiner. I have a follow-up question on the number 5 in the October Council legislative priorities list, which is about the pursuing of the municipal land use and zoning authority. And I know, thank you for your help. We have been working together. Maybe this will be third time we'll be trying that. Is there any new initiative or new way we'll be pursuing it? Maybe third time it will be a charm.
There was no House bill proposed this year, but it still could be a Senate bill proposed or a late filed House bill to do that. Last year we were successful in getting 10 mayors to appear on the screen with the bi-county committee indicating their support, which really changed the paradigm, because in the past it was just the big 3 that wanted it: Greenbelt, College Park, and Bowie. And when they saw that other communities in their districts were also interested in this, it did change the dynamic. However, because we had an acting county executive and it happened, had delayed it for a while in the session, no action was ever taken. I do think that the way for this, there is a way for this to pass, but it's going to require a number of mayors to meet with the county executive and make their pitch to her, because she's been very responsive to municipalities. And I think that's where the discussion needs to be next. And she's still, just a few hundred days in. And if there's a way to work things out with her, then I think that would open the door in Annapolis.
Yeah, thank you. And maybe this is the time we should start working on, and because it needs lots of groundwork and the coordination. And as you suggested, to have a meeting with the county exec, probably need to include we have another lobbyist just like you working on the county side. Maybe we can get him engaged as well. Mr. Young, any thoughts? I know you've been passionate about land use and zoning authority.
I know Mr. Lucci and his firm does a great job working with our delegation, so I have every confidence in them. We will improve our communications again this year. We tend to improve it more and more each year as things progress in the legislative session. It is kind of helpful for me to have that former background myself, being in his position, but a non-lawyer doing that position, much different. And so I think we'll have some successes coming up, I hope, and we'll have to work with the council on that.
Yeah. I know there's a frustration in the community that we're the second largest city in the Prince George's County, and we don't have the even land use authority, which is such a shame. And this is a win-win. It's not that county will be losing anything if they give us that authority, because they will have less amount of workload on their side, because DPI is pretty booked. There's so many cases, and if we could take some of them, it's good for them and it's good for us. Our residents don't need to run.
Mr. Mayor, I don't think we need to convince anybody here of the
and
merits.
One person who was convinced of this is Speaker Pina Melinek, who has supported this in the past.
Yeah.
And she mentioned this morning at a public gathering that for 8 years she sat next to former Delegate Aisha Brayboy, and that they kind of had a mind meld on many things, and that they're very close. And so I do think that the synergy can work in both directions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for every year. I appreciate that everyone has the same amount of passion. Appreciate that. I see some raised hand. Who is? My apologies. Is Councilmember Mitchell? Please go ahead first.
Thank you, Mr. Lucci. It's always good to see you. It's a pleasure. First question is in regards to HUR, highway user revenue. If you think there's going to be some kind of contentious point in regards to making sure that we maintain the levels this year for municipalities, do you have any thought about that?
Yes, every time there's a state budget shortfall, every time except for last year, that is, highway user revenues are number one on the target list. Mm-hmm. And they make it seem like it's government, state funding of localities, when it's really a return to localities of use on their roads based on the gas tax. And so it's not it's really revenue sharing, not revenue giving, but that's not the way the legislature has looked at it in the past. So yeah, I am afraid that may be in the chopping block this year. And we're going to have meetings every Tuesday morning with all the people hired by the different cities in the state who are their lobbyists, to try and coordinate that and work together on how to stop things like that. So the budget will be released on January 21st. Okay. And we'll know then what's in the budget, and we can respond. And I can assure you that the municipalities in the state are going to respond in a coordinated fashion, because lack of highway user revenues means the lack of well-maintained roads in the cities. And so it should not be the first thing, and it's not an aid program. It's a revenue-sharing program, and we always have to make that point.
Okay.
But it took many years last time for it to be fully restored.
Yeah. And so the other 2 points I have is one in regards to the Purple Line grants, making sure that we can get some funding as awarded to College Park to finish that off. Number 2 is also anything in regards to the economic development. As you know, we continue to try to enhance the footprint in College Park. So any kind of incentives that we can draw upon to help us, that would be, that's just something my colleagues can weigh in on that. But also the last point I wanted to raise is regards to affordable housing and initiatives specifically that deal with veterans, helping them to acquire housing at a substantially reduced rate. We have a lot of veterans who are not making a lot of money, but would love to be first-time buyers. And if there's anything that you are aware of regarding that, as well as for their spouses, those who they are not retirees, but the spouses have left, and the spouses left to try to make ends. Any kind of initiatives towards that, I think, would be, because we have a high population of veterans in the city and a lot of spouses. And I think anything we can talk about that may help, I think we appreciate it.
I'll check on that, because there are 2 things that Governor Moore is for, among many. One is lowering housing costs, and 2 is supporting the veterans. And so I'll check with the housing department and see if they have some initiatives on that.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
That's okay. I want to bounce off of my colleagues when she discussed economic development. This is a kind of new one, so I see Mr. Williams here, but I don't know if you knew we had the tourism conference here in College Park, and I just would like to make sure that tourism is also another thing that often gets on the chopping block. So I'm not like asking for new initiatives, but if we could just keep us apprised of like any opportunities there might be for us to help with economic development and tourism. I appreciate it. And then lastly, I just wanted to, the federal administration has cut a lot on environmental issues, and I'm really hoping that the state does not follow any kind of suit with that, and that we still maintain, Maryland is so blessed to have the Chesapeake Bay and all the water privileges that we have in our state. So I just wanted to put a shout out for the Chesapeake Bay and for environmental issues. Thank you.
Thank you. I see Councilor Hernandez raise his hand. Please unmute. Yes. Go ahead. Please go ahead. We cannot hear you, Council Member.
Yeah, I think I was taken off of being a panelist. But the only thing I wanted to just touch, Mr. Lucci, is that one of the concerns that was raised this year was regarding the Youth Service Bureau's funding. I know this might not be the time to ask, but as you're considering or as you're listening to the various topics being discussed, if there's any possibility for us to make sure that we secure the state funding, especially given the fact that the city of College Park currently houses probably the largest capacity of Spanish-speaking resources among the 4 youth service bureaus. It's my understanding that Greenbelt, and I want to say maybe Capitol Heights, actually send their Spanish-speaking cases over to College Park when they can't handle it. But that we're still not seeing that state funding. I mean, the county also provides funding, but I know that the state also provided funding, and they may not be providing given the fact that there's all these budget shortfalls.
I'll make sure this is on our delegation's radar if it's not there already.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ranker?
I appreciate it, and I hear you saying we should have a conversation with County Executive Braveboy around land use. I'm just kind of wondering if there's one, I just want to volunteer myself and maybe my colleagues here, if there's ever times that make sense to write letters or make phone calls to help kind of give that extra oomph. Would be very excited to do that.
Okay.
I also wanted to get your perspective of where you might see opportunities, especially around affordable housing, and asking for specifics from the state to kind of support, whether it's some of the planning and pre-development work for more affordable housing, or other kinds of things that might be, knowing that it's a strong priority for the governor, where we might be able to capitalize on that.
So the State Department of Housing and Community Development is the only state department that's actually headquartered in Prince George's County. And so it certainly might be a good idea if we could work out with some kind of pilot project where we try the experiment and see how it works, and then they could apply it elsewhere. So I'd be glad to initiate that conversation with them.
Great. And I wanted to also kind of just follow up on Councilmember Mitchell talking about the Purple Line. I have heard that we have a lot of issues with a lack of signage about where to cross, and especially in bicycle abundant areas. A lot of folks are getting their bikes caught already, and of course we haven't even started. So I would want to make sure that that those safety issues are tended to.
Thank you. Any other further comments?
Maybe one question, or I guess two questions. One, just given where the legislature is looking this year, what do you see as the impacts on education, and particularly education for City of College Park residents? And then second, just as to help me better understand, once the council determines what is on our 2026 legislative priorities list, how is that actually used in practice? What should we expect? Thank you.
Okay. To answer your first question, a couple of years ago, the legislature, over the governor's veto, passed the Blueprint for Education, which ramped up steadily state funding and had all sorts of accountability measures and a separate new agency to monitor that. That's about to start kicking in seriously in the next couple of years. Last year, the state administration proposed cutting it back in some ways, and it was Chairman Barnes who pushed back forcefully to make sure that there were no such education cuts, and so I suspect he will be doing that again, and I stay in touch with him. As to what I do when I have your priorities, then I look for legislation that's in there that meets your priorities. If there's not legislation in there, I can work to get legislation introduced around those priorities, and then push for them and try and build coalitions with other folks. Although we have 4 legislators representing College Park who are in very great positions to assist, it still takes coalitions with other folks, and so I can work on doing that. But I was told by the speaker this morning, you tell me what College Park wants, and I want you to let me know. So that was just as of this morning. So
she's such a good friend.
She's wonderful.
Thank you, Ms. Simon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You'll have to forgive me. I have a small handful of questions. One is backward-looking, a couple forward-looking, and then one just kind of logistical. The first question I have is, just through your experience, what legislative efforts have you found particular success with in College Park in the past, just to help me get a little bit of a better understanding?
Well, we have 4 legislators, and there are 10 committees, and so we're only represented on 4 of the 10. Of course, now with the speaker, we're represented on all of them in a way. So I start with our folks and filling them in, and then they give me some advice on who we can form coalitions with to try and get to a majority in the committees when the bills are taken up for review. So we've been pretty successful doing that. I guess that answers your first question.
Thank you. Looking forward, are there specific areas, and kind of also keeping in mind the budget constraints that you outlined, are there specific areas that you think College Park is well positioned to have an impact during this legislative session?
Definitely the capital budget. Any kinds of projects that we could come up with, we have a few weeks to put it together and get it to Chairman Barnes and Senator Vice Chairman Rezapep.
Anything in terms of like policy areas as well?
Sure. I mean, the budget is really the policy document for the state. It's a value statement, and so very often narratives are put in the budget that actually have the force of law for that year, and we're in a position to make those recommendations to our legislators. In addition, every chairman has just been appointed in the House by the new speaker, and so if there's any other areas we're interested in, I mean, she has a particular interest in health, and always has, and not just because she's chair of the committee, but from the very beginning when she was first elected 20 years ago. And so I think she'll continue that interest, and that those are her closest allies, the ones on the committee that she chaired for the past few years.
Do you have any thoughts or any insights on any legislation around tenants' rights during this session, particularly understanding that the Office of Tenant and Landlord Affairs was so recently established?
I don't, but I could find out and let you all know.
Last one, logistical question. I know you said that you do typically kind of keep us apprised. I'm curious, how regularly are you in contact with the mayor and council? What mode does that take? How are you keeping us updated about any legislation that you're tracking or working on typically?
We track all legislation that affects the city, and we provide a report to the city clerk. We try to do it before noon every Friday, so it could be in your packet. And we'll have the updates and some narratives on the major policies, and then status of all the bills that could affect the city.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah, just for the benefit of the new council members, during the legislative session, Len Lucci and his team are very busy, and almost every night, actually, every council night, we have a kind of recording item, agenda item, reviewing the ongoing priority agenda items that interest College Park, and on some of them, the council votes and we send letters. So it happens almost every week.
And I'm sorry, opening day is in the evening is the Maryland Municipal League reception. It's a great chance for all of you to meet with your fellow colleagues from other cities and talk about their issues and your issues. And I used to have a T-shirt that says "Lobbyists have issues." But, anyway, but it's a good opportunity, and it's very well attended, and most of the legislature shows up here too.
Thank you, Mr. Hugh.
Thank you. One of the things that kind of came up to me is that one of our tax credits that's kind of important to me, I think to the city as well, is a tax credit for new development to include daycare for both child and adult daycare, and also trade schools. But on the adult daycare part, it would be great if there could be some support in the state to incentivize that entity, in the sense that a lot of the baby boomers who are parents, and some of my younger colleagues' parents are beginning to experience dementia on a more common ground. And it is very important, because in this time in our lives, we may have students in college or late part of high school, and then you're dealing with your parent, and you may not be able to afford real in-home care or other sorts of permanent care. But many people can get by if they could, like, the same way they would drop off their child, drop off their parent during the work hours, so that they're not at home alone, and have this sort of adult daycare system. And it has become a priority for us, because we see that more and more, being a university town where parents may have their parents needing this care at the same time their students being here at the universities. So I think it's something that it could be a lot more in demand, and it's really approaching fast. I'm constantly hearing of friends, parents who are beginning to enter that stage. So if we can find some way to prioritize supporting that industry, so that when development happens, there's a layered support when we request it, and it can be more a reality.
In Maryland, licenses and supports adult medical daycare facilities throughout the state. There are tons of them in Montgomery County and very few in Prince George's County. And I don't know why, because most of them are Medicaid funded through the state, where you can drop off a elderly or infirm relative, or many of them are developmentally disabled, for daytime respite care and their activities, and they learn things. And I've visited several of them myself, because I used to represent a lot of them, and they work well, and they especially worked well during the pandemic, because then they actually had visits and things. But I don't know why it's not really taken hold in this county as well as it has in Montgomery County, or even Baltimore City. It's a good question. I don't know the answer. I can find out, but it works very well. I mean,
maybe a little more encouragement encouragement for this county to pursue it.
Thank you. If there is no other any final thoughts and comments?
Great.
Thank you.
Sure thing. Great seeing you all.
Yeah, let's keep us in touch.
All right. Sure
We need
will.
your help. Appreciate it. All right, so let's go to the second action items, and after that we'll have one more. It's 26G09 is the approval of the agenda items for the January 22 Four Cities Meeting Coalition. I saw some email traffic. I think Mr. Ozzie, you had some great ideas, some of the topic you could discuss in the Four Cities Coalition meeting. And excitingly, this meeting will take place in College Park, in this room. Who is go for? It's Councilmember Ors, and then Mayor Pro Tem Mackey. Yeah.
Right. So these are just some ideas that I've heard from different people, and forgive me, Dan, if I happen to mention yours because my brain had them all together, but working on finding a way to work with the county and the state to fill in the gaps that are made with federal government cuts. That was one idea. And of course the purple line. So I'm just going to give two since we've talked about two, and let my colleagues give some. Thank you.
Yeah. One thing I love, actually, this was from your list, is the affordable. What other cities, our partner cities, are doing to bring more affordable housing in their towns? So College Park has so many initiatives, including the Affordable Housing Task Force and our tax credit program. But what other cities are doing, because it's not only College Park's job, because housing is a regional issue. So that is something as a coalition we should be addressing it. So I kind of borrowed that from your list.
Yeah, I'm happy to share for folks who haven't seen, because I don't think this was shared more broadly. So I just came up with some ideas, as I have not been to a Four Cities meeting before. I don't know what is actually most appropriate or most helpful or useful. So welcome the views of the other folks on council with who've attended those meetings in the past. I think thinking about what economic development initiatives Four Cities are pursuing, steps to increase availability of child care options and preschool education or early education skill building, joint engagement with the county on education, talking about vacant and blighted properties, Purple Line opening day readiness, public safety, affordable housing initiatives, and how to promote civic engagement, including some potential capacity building work with civic associations.
So each city they don't send more than 3 items, based on our experience, maybe 2. Ms. Allen's preferences too. So if we ask you, what are the two topmost?
This was my brainstorming, but
What is your preference?
In views of others on council and what speaks to them from this list. I think, again, I don't have the context, and it'd be helpful to know like what has the Four Cities discussed in its recent meetings, and what our expectations are in terms of, is this kind of information sharing across what are we doing, or is it trying to drive towards joint action? Like, what is the context in which we're coming together, I think would be helpful as we're identifying what topics to discuss.
So I can help quickly, and I'll invite Mr. Young to chime in. So this coalition in the past, based on the experiences we had, they meet every quarter and by rotation at different city halls. And before the meetings, we send our agenda items, 2 or 3 from each city, or maybe less, and then the compiled agenda is sent out to all the council members and the staff as well, to all the 4 cities. And then the agenda items focus on what is good for all the 4 cities. So in the past, for one quick example, we started the street sweeper program. So this is the sweepers who are bought by all 4 cities, money, and they, by rotation, they go to different cities and sweep the streets. So this is not College Park street sweeper, even though we have our own. That's a different thing. So that's one example. So, and also we advocate for different priorities and different legislation. Sometimes we send letters on behalf of all 4 cities. For example, we send letters on the BARC. We had a huge initiatives on bringing FBI headquarters to Greenbelt because that helps everyone. So these are kind of high level. Mr. Young, do you want to add anything?
I was going to just mention that we also issues such as fire department calls for the volunteer firefighters. We all had an interest in that and who was affected, even though we were one of the cities that weren't as affected as some of the other ones, but ways that we could help support them through initiatives. We've also used that forum to bolster our position, particularly for land use authority, and having the different elected officials utilize their networks as well to get more people on board as we approach the legislature. The other ones, the power company, the light poles, is an issue that's probably the next issue that's really coming up that we all will have to make some decisions on.
By replacing the old sodium lights by the new LED street lighting. So there's the initiative, and Mr. Young is very much involved in it. So there's a next CIP project coming. Mr. Mitchell, Miss Mitchell, Councilor Mitchell.
He called me Mr. Mitchell, right?
No.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard Mr. Mitchell. Okay. Anyway.
It's late.
No, it's not. And to my colleague, Councilman Oates, your question about what should be a discussion point, I think if you're going to talk about 4 cities and almost in a regional aspect, I would think affordable housing will be a good topic for us to discuss. Many of us, you have Greenbelt, New Carrollton, and Berwyn Heights. We are surrounded in very close proximity, as well as the fact that we are trying to look at workforce and affordable housing, not only for the residents, our students, but again, there's still the fight about trying to bring FBI here to Greenbelt. So I think that will be one discussion point. And the second one is always economic initiatives that are the driver for all of us. There can be some shared common practices, or even trying to create a concept paper for the 4 cities in regards to how we can create enhanced capacity for economic incentives.
Mr. Hill.
Yes, this may not come to surprise for staff, but let me just first off get verification. Is it the host city that lines up the presenter, or who lines up the presenter?
Usually we take the lead for whatever is on the agenda that comes from all of the different jurisdictions if we're hosting. It's the same as the other jurisdictions.
Okay, so this is a kind of a pet project for me that would impact all of us. This is the county, Prince George's County Police Department has initiated a new system last year, and it's just really coming up online. It's called the Real-Time Crime Center, and what it does is they utilize cameras, security cameras throughout the county to provide real-time support to responding officers and backup officers to incidents. It is very important for deterring crimes, because crimes become the success rate of indictments and prosecuting criminals become strengthened by this system. I was able to take a tour of the facility with our Director of Public Services, Director Kokla, and our new public safety, Ed, sorry, beginning, yes. And when we looked at the map, and because this is new and it requires their officers going out and requesting permission to have access to these cameras. And these cameras can be municipal cameras, it can be business cameras, it can be residential cameras. And we are currently working to, we already have cameras in the University of Maryland's Crime Center program. And we're looking to see how we can also share that with this crime center, with the county crime center, because they support us. Because when we looked at the map, the northern part of the county were very sparse with coverage because the officers are headquartered in Upper Marlboro and their efforts kind of span from there. So with our efforts and awareness of this program, because prior to just recently, I wasn't aware of this program, so I think it would be a great opportunity to introduce this to the 4 cities in order for them to be aware of the program and see how they can start initiating what cameras they have, start creating a program. We're going to create a program where we can approach businesses and ask if they have cameras. If they don't have cameras, they're compatible. Perhaps can incentivize it so that we can be more supportive of the angles, the views, surroundings.
Will it be helpful to invite someone from
Yes,
PGPD covering this to have
somebody
the
from the
discussion?
center to come and talk about it,
Okay.
the
Can
value
you-
of it,
Thank you.
and how we can help bring more cameras online.
So in the beginning, the presentation
Yeah.
time, that could be our presenter. And Ms. Allen, if you could work with Councilmember Hill in that invitation. Okay. All right, Ms. Mackey.
I have something that's kind of not super serious, but this is the year that the country is celebrating their 205th anniversary of the birth of our nation. So it might be interesting just to have some kind of light conversations about bouncing ideas off of each other during 4 cities. Nothing, it's just an idea. It's not a real critical item, but I think that it's going to come into the forefront what different cities are going to do for the celebration. So,
Mr. Ranker.
And on that note, World Cup public viewing parties.
In the White House alone or something.
So, excuse me, question of clarification. What are we actually going to
So how many items
vote?
do you have, Ms. Allen?
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to shorten
So
it.
can we pick 3 and
Top 3.
2? he said.
2? Okay. How many items? I think some of us talked about affordable housing, and then there's a presentation request. And what else do you have?
Purple Line opening, federal government cuts, affordable housing, economic development, child care, Purple Line again, civic engagement, affordable housing, economic development, and of course the police and birth of the nation.
Okay, let me give the opportunity to our other colleagues who haven't spoken yet. So you heard the list. Do you have any preference? If we ask you to pick 2 of them from the 4 or 5?
The top, I think, would be economic development. I don't have a second at this time. Thank you.
Question, I'm just trying to recall, is Berwyn Heights and Greenbelt impacted by the Purple Line?
No, none of, other than New Carrollton. New Carrollton and College Park.
Yeah,
Those are
right,
the 2
that's what I kind of
impacted.
thought.
So it might not be the super hot topic for them, the other 2. That's a good point. So I see there are at least 2 votes for economic development and affordable housing. Is that everyone is okay with that?
And the presentation will be the police thing that Alan,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine.
Yes, I would check to see if they're available that evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there scope? I don't know how many agenda items. I thought we said there were like 2 to 3.
I recommend 2, and the reason why I did this last time, I recommended 2. I think they came back with, the council came back with like 6 items, and then there was like 14 items from New Carrollton, and so you know you're there for a long time. So that I'm really trying to make sure that we can utilize the time in a good manner. And we have discussed at the last meeting in Berwyn Heights the commemorative and possibly doing things together, and we are kind of in conversation with Berwyn Heights, Greenbelt, particularly talking about looking at maybe Lake Artemisia and doing a larger display, or doing something up in Greenbelt. So we have started those conversations already.
Thank you. So it's been taken care of. Appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, may I ask if we can get the presentation about the police, if we could possibly extend an invitation to what Councilman Rankin was saying about the county executive coming and at least meet with the 4 cities?
So you're requesting basically two invitations, am I correct?
I'm just saying, if the first invitation is not accepted, and they
not
can't
accepted.
come,
Okay.
then see if we can get an invitation with the county executive.
Okay. What for with the county executive? Excuse me. Thank you.
To meet with the council, talk about our initiatives.
Our priorities,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Very helpful. Appreciate it.
So if I could, I think it might be helpful, since we don't know what the other cities are going to propose for the agenda, to also have some alternates in case there's doubled up, that we could still have other things. So I think what I've heard from what you've said is economic development and affordable housing are the things.
Those are 2 so far.
The top 2, I
And
might,
do you want to add one more alternate?
maybe childcare.
What other cities are doing on childcare, affordable childcare? Okay. This is secondary. Thank you. All right. I think we're good at that. So let's go to the final action items, which has been moved out of consent agenda. Oh, this is yeah. So there is a. This is an action item. So you're right. I need to entertain a motion to approve the
So I
agenda.
move to submit economic development and affordable housing as the city's agenda items for the 4 cities meeting to be held in College Park on January 22nd, 2026, and for childcare to be an alternate if there's extra time on the agenda.
Okay. And with the 2
With the 2 presentations.
one of the real-time crime
On the PG County Police Real-Time Crime Center.
and also inviting if
And the county executive.
in case the first presenter is not available. This is an action item by the rule. I need to go to the audience in case you want to speak on this agenda items. Seeing none, let's come back.
Does the audience have a chance just to bring up topics that will come up at the next?
You'll have an opportunity at the end of the meeting coming up very soon, and then you'll get an opportunity to speak. I think you want to speak on something else.
Yes.
Not this
True,
one.
true.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Let's take the vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? So the 4 cities meeting agenda is being approved. The final one is 26G03, which used to be on the consent agenda, now has been moved. It's about the approval of the property use agreement for application for the transfer of the license from T. Eddie Hall to the Lake Lander located in College Park. The application has been filed with the Board of License Commissioners for the January 27, 2026 hearing, and this will be taken by our Director of Public Services, Jitinder Kokar. Mr. Kokar, thanks for your patience, for waiting.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and residents of College Park. This agenda item is 26-G-03. This is in regard to the property use agreement for the transfer of a Class B beer, wine, and liquor beverage license transfer from The Hall to the Lakelander Group, LLC. Property is located at 4656 Hotel Drive, College Park, Maryland. This application was submitted to our city attorney on November 24th, and we have gotten a lot of feedback from the council members regarding some of the facts in the application itself, application package, as well as the attached PUA agreement that exists, that has been presented. There are some discrepancies in the hours of operation. We have acknowledged that, and our city attorney is in conversation with the applicant's attorney, and they are trying to correct those facts at the moment. I do believe that some of the questions which were raised were in relation to the legitimacy of, why we need PUAs or why it is required, and certain things that we usually don't ask irregular on a transfer aspect of a liquor license. The city attorney, myself, and some of my administrative staff that deals with it, we had a discussion yesterday to get to the background of some of those items. Certain things which were brought to our attention, I think through the historical facts and different previously existing transfers and for the new alcohol and beverage license applications, these things were put into place, and as far as we could see the records, they go back to like 2007 and maybe a few years before that. Certain things what we were trying to, why they were created mostly to the south of Campus Drive, like downtown area, where there is a bigger student population, and there was some possibility of underage drinking or over-serving alcohol in some of those locations, so forth and so on. And those were basically geared for the downtown area. Having said that, I think I would probably request our city attorney Anderson to delve a little bit more on the background of this particular questions.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So the application that you have before you is for the transfer, as explained by the director. And typically what we do is we take the information that is on the application and then fit it into our property use agreement. There are times that after the, and I apologize, the cover memo did have a couple of errors, and it also didn't have a good representation of the motion, in the sense that typically, well, if it's on consent, it's pretty straightforward, but if it's on action, we usually put in that motion that final approval of that public use agreement will be subject to my review, because oftentimes there's still discussions and negotiations that are going on between the city and the applicant's counsel, because the majority of the applicants are represented by counsel, and there's a few attorneys in the area that specialize in this, so we have a very good rapport. And at the council meeting, what happens is if additional questions arise, or if you want to see certain conditions, you will approve the property use agreement, which is how we show our support. Well, actually, you'll have your support, and it's evidenced in the property use agreement. We'll make additional changes. In this instance, the hearing before the Board of License Commissioners is scheduled on January 27th. So we do have time between now and that date to work out any questions that you may have. one of the things that also needs to be cleared up is that on this property, there were at least 2 previous property use agreements. The second, what we call the amended and restated property use agreement, it was based on an entertainment permit that had been issued to the licensee. Under the Board of License Commissioner rules, if there's a transfer, that entertainment permit does not transfer. So if the licensee should they be awarded a license and they're interested in having entertainment, they will have to get an entertainment permit. And I have talked with Linda Carter, who's counsel for the applicant, and she is also available. And one of the co-applicants is also available for additional questions. They are willing to come back to the council to discuss the entertainment permit. So, and there were a couple of questions I saw from comments about the hours of operations, and we'll clear all that up. And there was also a question about knowing a little bit about future plans for the location, and you can ask the applicant tonight to clear that up for you. And I think I would be happy to answer any additional questions or have the applicant speak to you all now.
Yeah, thank you. So I forgot to neglected to recognize the applicant.
Mayor,
Collin.
I think I would also like to bring a couple of more points that we had discussed. I do believe that there were some questions, raised from the councils, and rightfully so, regarding, why they are created. Like as far as the PAU is concerned, it is basically a voluntary exercise on the part of the applicant. And I think our purpose to do that is to clarify, should we have any issue with the operational aspect of that particular location. And it helps us to add in, these are the existing laws in the city at the present time. And if anybody violates, then there are some, kind of consequences to it. May that be an unruly gathering or any behavioral aspect or any operation that goes beyond the regulated hours, so forth and so on. And we also verified that there is no present city law or the state law that mandates it. So we all have to understand it is basically a voluntary exercise that we are expecting that licensee to do when they operate in City of College Park. I just wanted to put it on notice here so that we are all aware of it.
I see some hand raised. Before that, I'd like to recognize the applicant, Ms. Phyllis Cohen. Do you have any introductory comments? Thank you for coming and joining.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Sorry, would you mind readmitting my attorney, Linda Carter? I think she had to drop off, but...
Ms. Carter's allowed to,
awesome.
I
Thank
have
you
done.
so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Linda, are you on?
I am. I'm having problems with my camera and my computer tonight. So, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, please accept my apologies. I am here on behalf of Felice Cowan and the Lake entered into and settled on a contract with the former operators of the hall to operate. And why do I think you're not hearing me at all? Could I please be admitted under
You are.
David?
You are already admitted, and we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, clearly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm having serious problems on this, and I apologize. I have a better connection. If you see David's Carter iPhone, easier for me and for you all. Thank you.
Okay, let me allow him as well. Yeah, that's been added as well. Do you want to use that?
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is, I can actually hear you, and I think this might work out better. Good evening. I am Linda Carter, and I'm here on behalf of of the Lakelander Group LLC, which, as I started to say, and I'm not sure what you heard, so I apologize, has purchased the business that is currently and will continue at least for some time to trade as the Hall. We have filed an application for transfer, and we've also filed an application for a management agreement with the Liquor Board to allow Felice and the Lakelander Group to operate the business. My clients are intent upon taking what you all know as the Hall and making it even better. They're spending a lot of money to improve it. They are hiring consultants, and in fact, the current manager of the property is still with the Lakelander Group, continuing to provide assistance in the transition. My clients are aware that there is a property use agreement and that they are required to abide by it. They are also, they acknowledge that there are rules of the board and the Board of Liquor License, the Board of License Commissioners for Prince George's County and the laws of the state of Maryland that they also need to comply with. As Mr. Sin indicated, currently they operate under an entertainment permit. The board has recently changed its rules regarding the process for an entertainment permit. So once the license is approved for transfer, we will actually be applying for a new entertainment permit. They don't have any intent at this time to do anything different in terms of entertainment than the Hall was doing. And Felice and I have had extensive conversations on this. They understand if they're going to change their mode of operation, they need to go to the Liquor Board, but they also need to come to the city of College Park. And they have to go to the University of Maryland as well, because as you all know, the university actually owns the property on which the building is located. So that's kind of our backdrop, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for the way in which I made my presentation tonight, but I'm having serious computer issues, and it makes it very difficult for me. I get very frustrated when I cannot write here.
Not a problem. Very nice to see you, and we heard you very well.
Nice to see you too. I wish I could have been there in person. I didn't realize this was going to get pulled off the consent agenda until later, so my apologies for not being there in person. Because, Mr. Mayor, as you know, I think this is the first time I've done this virtually.
Yeah, you're right. We always see you in the chamber. Ms. Khan, I have a question about kind of your business background. Is this the first business establishment in College Park? Have you done business in College Park and with other areas?
So this will be our first one in College Park, but we are not new to the restaurant business or management or business in general.
Okay. Have you? Do you have any other branches or any other business establishments somewhere in the area outside of College Park?
None that are currently active. This is our first venture back in the business for restaurants. We came together as a group, and we really just saw the potential that the Hall had and decided to take a deep dive. We are College Park residents. I live right down the street from where you guys are currently now. So we have been here for almost 10 years now, and we've seen how the city has grown and how it continues to grow, and we really just want to be a part of that.
Thank you so much. That was my next question, but you already answered it. I like your establishment's name, the Lakelander, and it really gives a very local feeling, and very good to hear that you actually live in College Park. So welcome. To this business, and the hall. So you'll be operating the entire business operation. Am I correct? The
Yes.
hall and okay. Thank you. Who was my apologies? Who was the first hand? It's Mr. Ranker. Please go ahead.
Yes, Ms. Cowan and Ms. Carter, I'm really excited about this. Thank you for your desire to invest and to help bring some great amenities here in College Park. My question, Ms. Anderson, what I hear you saying is we are approving in principle a PUA, not the specific language that was included.
It will be very similar. Minus some of the discrepancies. Like there was a mistake, I think, either in the staff, I think it's in the staff report about the hours of operations. The hours of operations I usually lift specifically from the application. And I do know that Ms. Carter and I, there was an additional modification regarding maybe having the opportunity to serve lunch. So we have to work that out, because typically the application controls the hours of operation, but there is also behind the scenes, because everything is controlled by state law and the Board of License Commissioners rules and regulations. And each license type has hours of operation. Typically they do not operate through that full scope of the hours that is authorized under their rules. And so we use the application as what the hours of operation, and that's what's put in the property use agreement. And then most of the terms that you see are the general terms that we put in our property use agreements, but every transaction is specific, and so we tweak it to fit that particular transaction or any concerns that the council may have.
And those need to happen in session like this, or do we need to wordsmith right now?
No.
Okay.
It typically, let me say, what's your practice? Typically, you give me the big picture of your concerns.
Thank God.
And then I go ahead and wordsmith it and make sure that the applicant's counsel, Ms. Carter and I, would be in agreement. And 99% of the time, by the time the Board of License Commissioner hearing takes place, we have a fully executed property use agreement that shows that we support the issuance of the license or the transfer or what the application states.
And then...
and Ms. Anderson, I think you and I are batting 1,000 on this.
Correct. Yeah.
Great. And then, so if we say yes and just kind of assume that you guys are going to take care of some of those issues, we don't get it back to approve again. It's like us saying, we entrust you to kind of work out the details, and maybe here are the things that we want to see different or something like that.
Correct, and it's actually executed. Once I say it's legally sufficient, it's executed by the city manager.
Thank you.
Thank you. Holly? Ms. Simmons?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Cowan and Ms. Carter. I think this is really exciting. And Ms. Cowan, I remember we spoke a few months back. It's nice to see you in this capacity and learn a little bit about the work you've been doing. I do have a question just about the name, the Lakelander. I think I understand that for the time being, at least, you are retaining the name the Hall, but if you could give us a little bit of background on why your organization is named the Lakelander, I think that would be really useful, and then I have a follow-up.
Sure. So some of the members of my group, actually their roots, like their families, date back to Lakeland. So over the summer, we got the chance to really learn more about Lakeland, and that's when we were able to find the history. And so when we formed our group, we, because it's such a near and dear to the heart, and because we love College Park and just knowing the history, we decided to name it the Lakelander as an ode.
Thank you. I'm sure that you would do this. I don't know if at any point in time you are considering renaming the entity to the Lakelander, but I would really strongly encourage, and I'm sure you would do this regardless, but reaching out to and having close communication with the Lakeland community and the Lakeland Civic Association prior to consideration.
Oh, absolutely. We've been in close contact over the summer with Maxine Gross and Dr. Braxton, and they've been lovely and really knowledgeable in helping us, learn more about Lakeland and the history in the background.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Good questions. Mr. Olson, and then Mr. Hill.
Sure, and thank you, Ms. Cowan and Ms. Carter. I love when people take things and make them better. Just to explain why I pulled this off of the consent agenda, I think there was some language changes within the PUA that were different from the last PUA, particularly related to noise. And so I think just as Ray has helpfully helped steer us towards not, wordsmithing, I think the intent I would like to see in the PUA is to clarify that the city's noise ordinances do apply. There's some ambiguous language in the current PUA that suggests that the noise level restrictions don't apply in some circumstances. Obviously, we don't regulate indoor noise, but I think ensuring that the language of the PUA is clear, and I would recommend that the language in the prior amended PUA be retained with regard to ensuring that outdoor music continues to be within the legal limits established by city code.
Absolutely. In fact, the draft of the PUA that I saw specifically stated that notwithstanding any to the contrary, the noise level outside could not exceed municipal and or county levels.
Right. I'm not sure that was what was in the packet, but I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you. Is that all? Yeah. Mr. Hill.
Yes. So, would this business still be operating under the umbrella of the university, being a university property?
It's never operated as part of the university. The rent is paid to the university because it owns the property, but they have nothing to do with the operation of the business and never have.
Okay. And so I'm familiar with the current entertainment style. Are you going to be staying with the same style or looking to be bigger, better as a venue?
Police?
Sure. So as of right now, we will be staying the same. Everything will be the exact same until further notice. The hall is a really good base, so right now we're just currently filling in the holes. The moment that we do consider that change and what that does look like, of course, we will come back to everyone in all the different departments that are involved and see what that looks like.
Okay. Yeah, my only concern is security. When you start talking about entertainment venues, we recently had an incident in the county where lack of security was an issue. So that's just one of the things that I want to make sure is addressed. That's all.
Thank you.
Because this is university property, Chief Mitchell is the first line, if you will. And he and I have worked very closely together in the past and will continue to do so. We'll make sure that, so how the entertainment permit process works is, in addition to filing the application with the Liquor Board, we have to file a security plan with both the University of Maryland Police and the county police. And they both have to sign off on it, if you will. And how the security plan typically works is there is a required minimum of security, but then for special events, it increases. And I think that the hall, if memory serves me correct, the hall was on a calendar so that if we had events over a certain size, we had to let the police departments know a certain number of days in advance so that they could tell us what kind of security they wanted for those events. And that's not going to change.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there is no question at this point, I'd like to entertain a motion. There is a motion in the packet. Staff has put together another recommended motion. It's on page 20, 020.
I move to approve a recommendation to the Board of Liquor License Commissioners of Prince George's County, the Board, for the transfer of the Class B, BLX, beer, wine, and liquor alcoholic beverage license from the Hall to the Lakelander Group, LLC. TA, the Lakelander at 4656 Hotel Drive, College Park, Maryland, 20742.
Second.
Further comment, Mr. Ranker?
I'll just add with the final approval subject to the city attorney to take into consideration the discussion that we've had today.
Is that acceptable?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Any further comments, Mr. Ranker? Seeing none, I need to go to the audience. If you have any comments on this item, seeing none, let's come back to the council. I don't think there is any comment before taking votes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? This item is approved. Thank you and congratulations, Ms. Khan and Ms. Carter. Thank you.
Thank you all so very much. And a special thanks to Ms. Anderson, who worked over and above trying to make this happen tonight. So thank you.
Thank you. She always does a good job.
She really does. Thank you all so much. Have a great day and a happy new year.
Thank you. Same to you. All right. We do not have a work session, and I haven't seen any request for status of future agenda items. And this is the time to receive comments from the audience. If anyone has any comments on anything under the sky, please go ahead. You have full 3 minutes. Please state your name for the record, and if you're a resident of College Park, and proceed with your testimony.
Hi, good evening, Mayor Kamir and council members. My name is Ashley Chapin. I'm not a College Park resident, but I'm happy to be here speaking before your body tonight as representative of Ranked Choice Voting Maryland. In 2025, 2 cities in Maryland, Annapolis and Hyattsville, introduced legislation for ranked choice voting. Greenbelt actually passed RCV by a 2-to-1 margin this past year. More supporters than ever are taking action in local elections to support reform. And nationally, 36 cities and counties held ranked choice voting elections this year. In 2026, Tacoma Park will have their elections, and they've been using ranked choice voting since 2007. DC will also have its first ranked choice voting election in the primary of June 2026. We are seeing growing interest across Maryland in its cities and counties, and I'm here today to just put it on the table to ask, will College Park become the next city to adopt ranked choice voting? RCV Maryland is ready to help and make this year a great year for expanding democracy. I'd love to continue our continued communication with the council and with residents here in College Park as a resource for education on voter reform. And just to plug, we do have an educational event coming up for any residents in the audience or online who are interested. RCV Day is coming up. There will be an event in College Park on January 21st, 7 to 9 p.m. Current location TBD, either somewhere here in City Hall or at Board and Brew, just up the street. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming and speaking.
Question, ma'am. Thank you. Do you have any information as it relates to what I've heard, and you can confirm this, that there's a consideration by the state to do RCV, ranked choice voting, for the elections?
I'm not familiar with a statewide bill. I'm familiar with Jamie Raskin's interest on a Congress level.
Yes.
Yes, he has just recently introduced a new ranked choice voting act that would aim at a more federal level of ranked choice voting. We are definitely in support of that. And I think we're still building momentum for getting that to be supported, yeah.
Could you possibly send us that information?
Absolutely, I'll send it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please come forward.
And I'll just add that we have on the future agenda ranked choice voting for February.
So February, can you just, what day specifically, or do you have it for?
I'm not sure, but I can be in touch.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Please come forward. State your name for the record. If you're a
My
resident.
name is Hussein Wahid. I'm with the Advanced Technology Acceleration Initiative, University of Maryland, College Park. And it has provided exceptional results over several decades. And the heads of departments and distinguished professors have always voluntarily supported these initiatives. And they're entirely at no cost. But we realized gradually that the region was adopting these standards, the methodologies, and slowly they became regionally ranked number 1. And later on we found out, the things we took for granted became national standards. But when we attempted to expand it to other industries, we found there was somehow it was as if people do not understand what the system does. It's an agile resource system, and it is free of charge. But then later on, last year, we found out it was cost the state $1.2 billion, and they could not track $700 million, whatever happened to it. But the idea is that the losses, the risks can be reduced very easily at no cost, just based on open collaboration. And the system works very well. So we put together the bill. It was ready last year, and we were surprised why it did not get adopted. This year, too, it is ready, and everyone looks as if they do not fully understand. I do not know exactly what the reason is. But the idea is I will present it. I'll send it to the council members tomorrow, and then at your next session, I can go over the brief details. And there are other delegates, there are deputy secretaries of the Office of State very much interested. The government affairs officers are interested. So it's a matter of getting over this hesitation. And I'll make sure it is clear to you guys. And maybe if we get a recommendation or even a question as to why it has not been adopted, that would be sufficient.
Thank you.
That's all. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Is there anyone else who wants to speak? I do not see any virtual participant wants to speak. Seeing none, let's come back and to the comments from the mayor, council, and student liaison, and city manager. Starting from my left, Councilmember Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to remind everyone that tomorrow, January 7th, the Senior Advisory Committee will be holding its monthly event from 1 to 3 p.m. at the College Park Woods Clubhouse. They will be joined by Attorney Joshua Winger from the law offices of Bird and Bird, who will talk about estate planning. And number 2, and finally, just want to underscore that there is a survey. Again, I know some of my colleagues already announced it, but I just want to, reason why I want to underscore it, it is a part of the participatory process to engage residents in regards to the priorities for the budget that we will be collectively talking about on April 11th. So more of you who are actually respond to give your thoughts will definitely help us to make a much more informed decision. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to my colleague for announcing the just the very importance of the survey and the senior event. So I wanted to just share also that we had a community safety meeting last night, and there was a lot of good news and about crime dropping in College Park, and just really encourage people to continue to do the simple things like locking your car, leaving a porch light on, just simple things like that help with deterring crime. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing that, and this might be an opportunity to promote our public safety initiatives that is behind the drop in crime numbers and some key areas. So maybe our staff can take this opportunity, and our communication department can promote it more. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Mackey, for sharing that. Mr. Ranker.
Pass.
Mr. Oath.
Pass.
And Ms. Simmons.
Pass.
Ms. Jordan.
Pass.
Thank you. Hope you feel better. And Mr. Hugh.
Pass.
I'll go to student liaison, Mr.
Mr. Hernandez?
Hernandez. Sorry. My apologies. Please go ahead.
Pass.
Thank you. Your photo looks so nice. You look pretty young. You're always young. Mr. Despeda.
Pass.
And Mr. Bujma.
Pass.
All right. Let's go to our city manager, Mr. Young.
Nothing further from me. We do have a closed session. Shouldn't
Yes,
take too long.
yes. So before we adjourn, I need to make this statement about the closed session coming after this meeting, and it states as follows. Pursuant to the Maryland Annotated Code General Provisions, Article 3-305, the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park are providing notice that they will meet in a closed session after this meeting to consider, number one, to consider the acquisition of real property for a public purpose and matters directly related thereto. And number two, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed, any abstention?